What's up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Please follow my Instagram at RussoLifts, just in case something happens to this YouTube channel. You can follow, message, and you can watch my daily story content on Instagram. I'll see you there. What is up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Here's the ASMR sip. Loud and disgusting one. Today I'm going to be talking about why competing is not the same as it was back in the day, specifically for the perceived fame, success, clout, money, sponsorships, photo shoots, opportunity. Okay, so I'm gonna say the way I'm doing it versus the way people perceive to do it. In my opinion, how to do it right versus how to do it back in the day. So let's go back in the day. Back in the day, there was a monopoly on who became famous, right? And the way to do it would be to compete. And then when you compete, get a good placing, you would get a magazine sponsorship, you would get a supplement sponsorship based on your placing. And kind of the better you did in the competitions, you know, throughout the NPC, IFBB, the more your career scaled and bloomed. And it was very trackable. Hey, I have to win these shows. I have to do better in these shows. The better I do in these shows, the more money I make, the better sponsorship opportunities, the more negotiation power I have when I come to the table, the more I'll be placed in the magazines and the more clout I'll get. Okay, that was the way to scale it. Back in the day, you know, the IFBB and NPC had a lot of power, dictation, and control over who they scaled up. Great example, modern day, of how this is still like is the UFC. So you got big bad Uncle Dana White. He owns you basically. If you enter the UFC, you enter a contract. He controls how much money and scalability you do, and he has a gridlock monopoly on that. And that is basically you're bowing down to the federation. This is how the IFBB NPC used to be in the fitness industry in general. That's why you had the fake naturals, because back in the day, right, you couldn't go around like me screaming at the top of your lungs that you're taking a bunch of steroids and SARMs and growth hormone and you're not natural, you're enhanced and you can't get this body naturally. And like, I don't want to lie to no one. Some people have superior genetics in the fitness industry, but most people are juicing their brains out. The reason why it was all hush hush was because the monopoly controlled everything and you had to go through the right way to get the rewards, aka fame, money, clout, sponsor, you know, all that shit. And that was kind of how you got started, right? You got started, you kind of just competed your physique over time and the money and clout came. The game has changed, right? And people won't accept it. With the with the implementation of social media and bodybuilding, number one, the fitness industry is way bigger than it's ever been outside of the, you know, the IFBB, NPC, supplement industry, etc., etc. It's worldwide, and with the fitness thing, it's like anyone can respect a physique. A physique is a physique. There's no language barrier. If you don't speak the same language, you can still follow a physique, right? I don't speak Egyptian. I still follow Big Ramy. I've met Big Ramy, right? I've interacted with him and can't really, there's a language barrier, but a physique is a physique, and it's same way how I was in information systems in college. Code is code. I can read a person working in Iraq on code and we can write code back and forth. It's a universal language. We don't have to speak the same native language to know what we're doing with said coding project. You know, it's the same deal with, you know, physique. And that's why people can get so popular with a physique, is because there's no like, you know, it's not like football where you gotta speak the same language and shit and it's only USA based. It's much more like martial arts, where a martial artist respects a martial artist no matter the language barrier or anything. And that's the way I see it. Don't fall in this trap, okay? The days have changed. You need to come into competition with a following behind you, or with full intention to scale a following as you move along. Example, me, right? I did the YouTube, I did the enhanced bodybuilding biohacking content. This garnered me a following before I had any sort of competitive physique or look, right? It was People respected my honesty, transparency, and that I made the content that nobody wanted to make. I made the content that, went against the flow. I could have claimed fake natty. I could have had a more stereotypical career in the fitness industry. I chose truth, transparency, and to help people along their enhanced bodybuilding journey in hopes that they would give me keys to their kingdom later in their career if my information helped them along the way. And that's why I have a lot of the connections I do today, despite my little baby ass following on this channel. So that's the way I picked it. And when I would compete, which I am competing this year finally, thank God, I know I'm not going to be fat. And Alec is slowly shredding me up, and we are zoning in on picking a date pretty soon. Once I finish the moving process, I'm in the process of getting a house, so fingers crossed that my life finally stabilizes and I can do a monk mode prep right. But the thing is, I'm not like a local NPC competitor who's just struggling to make a name. I've already made a name for myself. People know I'm the crazy fucking biohacker pincushion dude. They know what I'm about, and people are gonna watch me compete whether I have the most competitive physique on stage or not, because people are already invested in my journey before I even start the competitive, competition thing. So coming in to the shows, I have a lot of eyeballs on me, and there's a lot of attention around me before I even compete. So let's say I do good at a local level. Boom. That is working in my favor because I'm feeding the audience the content they want. They see the progression and angle of each competition, and they're more invested, and they're already following, telling their friends that, yo, Russo's walking the walk, finally. And then that is going to dump gasoline on the fire of all my other content. And then I already have sponsorships coming in from the social media. That's all just going to be gasoline on the fire moving forward, right? So basically, if I do well, then my national qualifier show, I'll have even more eyeballs on me, more eyeballs on Alec, who's creating my physique, and it's just gasoline on the fire versus people struggling with the flint to light the match, who are just starting out thinking that they have to go into competition to get this said following. What I'm saying is build the following first, then go and compete. Don't be under this illusion that if you go down the competition road, I'm not saying it can't happen, it definitely can happen, but it's unlikely that the following will swarm in, that you'll be put on a pedestal immediately, the sponsorship opportunities will be thrown at you right as you're going along. There's tons of better dudes out there with better physiques than me that don't have what I have, and they're jealous of that, and the vanity, the envy, and the lust of the hyper toxic masculinity of competitive bodybuilding. You can see that they didn't do the work I did before stepping into the competition realm. They are under the impression it's like the old school days where the best physique wins as far as the money, fame, clout, etc., etc. And that can be the case. That can also not be the case, right? In my opinion, you should put social media, your career as an influencer first over competing. You build that up, roll that snowball, and once that snowball's rolling enough, then you roll into the competition. And it's like gasoline on the fire versus you want to build the fire as you're competing. Competing is a lot of work, a lot of mentality, a lot of monk mode. You don't really want to have the time to do all the other shit like day of eatings for prep, posing videos for prep, training for prep, making it a series, I have the resources because of you guys to have Andrew help me make the prep content 1,000 times better than I could if I was just doing this prep by myself, which in turn helps me with all my sponsorship opportunities, helps me garner more attention. And when I come to the table, I'm talking numbers. I'm talking conversions from you guys because you guys support this content, and you guys are supporting content that educates you, that helps you in your individual journey. So you guys are much more likely to go in my pinned comment or to go in my description and use one of my affiliate links or check out my TRT company, Elevate Alternative, and invest into me because you're getting content that helps other people, helps other men back, and not just, narcissism like, oh, I'm posing, and the vicariously living through an alpha. I'm a double-edged sword where I'm going to do both moving forward. forward. But I'm saying I see a lot of guys, and it makes me sad that they think that if they get this, and I'm not talking shit on competition. I like competition. I like going to shows. I like seeing people at their peak form. I love seeing them improve each show form look. That's addicting. I'm all for competing. I'm not anti-competition over here that I think competing's stupid. Whether I had a competitive physique or not and build it, I would get on stage one time to do the experience and journey of doing a prep right. And if I wasn't even in this position, I would still do a prep once in my life, because I feel like that teaches you a lot of like, look, I'm gonna be almost, showing off my entire physique on this day. I want to look the best on this day. I'm gonna be in front of all these people and judges. Like, let's get it together. Let's monk mode and dial in. I would do that for my mentality. But as far as me doing it as a career, because of you guys, I have a lot more, tools in my toolbox doing these preps than a person who's trying to start out the gates. So don't be fooled under this inclination that I have the best physique, I win these shows, sponsorships come. You need more than just a physique to hold people's attention, unless you are a genetic super freak, which I'm not, you're probably not. If you were, there'd be a bunch of yes men around you trying to get you to compete. That's probably not you. It's not me. When I compete, I'm gonna have to out-shred, out-condition people and do it the old school way. It's funny, I think people who never step on stage in their life and who can't even show their physiques when I ask, and I'm sensitive for asking to see what someone critiquing me looks like. It's kind of comical, and I'd love for you guys to link yourselves down below, but that you'll never step on stage and that people with good or bad genetics, and I'll say I have average genetics, can't do well in competing when it's been proven time and time again that people can out-shred people up to a considerable position despite not the best insertions, despite not the best symmetrical flow, but out-shredding and out-massing people. Dude, that gets you very far in competitive bodybuilding. Maybe not to the tippy top, but it gets you very far. And that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to document, that a more average person has to play those cards, and that's what me and Alec are going to showcase with my preps, is that we are going to out-shred people and just have the most lean tissue I can carry at a good, weight. So if you think that, oh, I just win these shows, I get these quote-unquote plastic trophies, that the fame and shit's going to come to me, most likely no. Most likely you got to build your brand personality, be able to get on camera, talk to a camera like this, and to market products. Numbers talk, numbers sell, conversions talk, conversions sell. When I went to, negotiate my deal for Elevate, there are 6 figures on the table for me to make that 6 figures back. A lot of pressure on me, but I have a showcase resume of all the conversions I've already done, and that got me the deal. That got me the angel investor. That got me the opportunity, right? If I just had a pretty body, a pretty face, not good at talking on camera, but I had all these show winnings, that doesn't prove I can sell. That doesn't prove I'm, a businessman. That doesn't prove that I'm an influencer that can generate conversions. Like, a lot of people oh, how do you get sponsored by all these companies when, quote unquote, I've looked like shit for so many years? It's because I can talk, make conversions. Numbers talk, conversions talk. People know that I hold people's attention for education, enlightenment, and that, it's been proven here. I've gone completely out of shape and my following has not left me, right? Now that I'm going to get the physique back and have the look and walk the walk and talk the talk, everything's going to blow up again. But in my worst moment, people can look, and I can market this and advertise this in a debate, that in my worst moments, my following's so loyal and OG that they stood by me and pushed me through those tough times, and my conversions still stood. So people are here just for my personality and to hear me, right? That's how you gotta take your competitive bodybuilding career while you're in it, right? You gotta be a personality that connects with people and that can relate to people and that can help people in their own journeys. That's where I get annoyed. Like, people want to see the vlogging content, me blowing myself up like Colby Covington into more of this character. Now, I'm not going to change my personality like Colby. When you see these preps, I'm definitely going to be, a little bit more narcissistic on camera and have more bravado, whereas my educational stuff, I don't like that. If I was watching from your side of the camera and I was all like, oh, blah, 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 all into myself, myself while giving you PED education, I'd be like, I want to hear this from a more unbiased viewpoint. I don't want no emotion or dictation attached. I just want it said to me straight. And that's how I do my educational content. And that's why a lot of people follow me, because I'm real as shit in that aspect. But with, you know, the way clout works, you have a bunch of beta fucks that want to vicariously live through an alpha character, whether that's a show, whether that's real and can be backed is up to you to decide. I mean, you guys browse cloud characters all the time. You know how most of them are. And that they would rather live through that fake fallacy and subscribe and push that person to the top than, you know, said person who's real all the time. So I'm going to play both sides of the sword. I've done it before. I used to be more extroverted in high school until I became lone wolf entrepreneur that's just, you know, trying to suck in business minds and trying to form a, you know, persona that I could actually scale in business rather, you know, be the hyped up influencer all the time. But I'm definitely much more fucking boring and monotone, and we'll be addressing that moving forward. Point being, people are in the same boat as me when they're going into these competitions trying to get everything out of, you know, competing. The fame, sponsorships, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm saying is, like, if you're not willing to build up your persona to a point where it holds people's attention beyond your physique that's not maintainable, beyond your vanity that will fade, you're doing it wrong, and you will not be rewarded, and you will end up like one of these guys talking shit on me who has the better physique than me, who competed more than me, has more trophies than me, but no following, no sponsorships, no fame, no perceived benefit, and they fell into the dark trap of competing for nothing, right? If you're not willing to do all the rest of it, social media scaling, building your persona, interacting and being real with your fans, subscribers, followers, or whatever you want to be. Like, I'll sit there, I answer 30 people for free on Instagram. I could easily sit behind a pay barrier and charge people. I like being the influencer, the character that I would want to personally hit the subscribe button on. And that's the motto I live by, right? Whether that be monotone, depressed, I'm not changing my mood. If I'm depressed, I'm depressed. I'm sorry. I'm not going to fake it like all these other people, because that's a dangerous road to walk down. But you got to realize that if you want to compete, it's much more than just having the competitive physique. That just gives you a voice, right? So the competitive physique gives you a voice to, it gives you like authority, essentially. An authoritarian character, you can call it a power grab of authority, where like you have a voice now. If you got nothing to say, if you got no way to hold them with your voice, but you have this beautiful physique, you're gonna be a glimpse, right? Because there's a ton of good physiques out there. There's a ton of better physiques than me. So I knew I had to hyper adapt around that to hold people with my intelligence, to hold people with my philosophy of breaking down things into multiple perspectives and weighing them from multiple different angles, giving you inclination on how to critically think better through certain things, whether that be fitness or non-fitness related. People really like the way I break down things on camera. So I went with that direction because I don't have the greatest genetics. I have average, slightly above average genetics. And when I do classic physique, I'm gonna compete at 195 pounds in the NPC. I'm by no means a mass monster, nor do I want to even try to be one. But I will be more successful than that mass monster that can't talk to a camera, that can't sell and market products, that isn't good in business conversation, has no conversions, and that is under this fallacy that if he gets this many trophies, which it happens to the very few tippy top guys, but not the average competitor, that I'm gonna get money, fame, clout, sponsorships, and have a career. No. You're not. You're going to be a competitor. That's it. You're going to get a crappy little sponsorship because of blanket affiliate marketing. It's not like the old days where it was all controlled in the mafia and you had to walk the walk of the mafia to get the rewards. Social media has changed the game forever, and I'm imploring the people that are competing against me to look at the aspects that I built out of my persona that could help you if you have a better physique than me. I'm trying to help you, lift you up so I have a key to your kingdom when you blow the fuck up. It is what it is. I'll see you in my next video.